Open and those joining us on the live stream. If everyone could put on their headsets if you've not done already and you're sitting in the seats. So before we get started, I just wanted to say what a privilege it is to be here with you and connect with our passionate and driven eBay sellers. I'm Emma Ashton. I lead the UK buyer success team here at eBay, and my role is all about delivering the best for UK buyers. So by surfacing deals and coupons and promotions, ensuring reliable delivery standards and a strong on-site experience. Today we're trying something a bit new. It's a live buyer panel. So you're going to hear directly from our eBay buyers here. What gives them confidence, what helps them make purchasing decisions, and how technology and new formats are shaping the way that they buy and their habits of shopping. So most importantly, this is an opportunity for you as sellers to listen in, understand, and take insights to help your businesses grow. Because this is live, we'll be taking 2 or 3 questions at the end from the audience. So please submit them in the app as we go so that we can ask them at the end. And as this is a new format this year, please send in feedback at the end on how we can make it better. So let's welcome our buyers and start with introductions. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
So we're just going to start just running along the line. I'd just love to hear your name, what kind of things you buy, and just a little bit about yourself. Yeah, start with Megan.
Hello, my name's Megan. I'm a mum of 2, which is very important as that dictates what I buy on eBay. I buy a lot for my kids, but mainly for myself, tech. And I've actually purchased a car on eBay, which was quite bold.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kieran. I work for a fintech doing operations. The kind of things I buy on eBay are mainly golf related. I started playing golf 3-4 years ago, and all my friends recommend me to buy golf clubs on there secondhand. So yeah, those are the kind of things I'm buying, as well as watches and clothes and shoes as well.
I'm Rimini, a mum of 1 from Birmingham. I'm a project manager. I tend to buy a lot of Disney collectibles for my daughter, and I'm also a really big trainer addict, so I buy a lot of footwear and clothes and things like that.
Yeah, I'm Connor. I'm 23, I'm from Manchester. I'm a finance analyst. I usually buy kind of more tech and clothing more as a kind of side hustle for other platforms to resell. So yeah, that's how I use eBay.
Thank you. And so it would be great to hear a little bit about, we know you're all eBay buyers, and so what was the last thing you bought on eBay, and why did you pick eBay to buy it? So we'll go again down the line, starting with Megan.
The last thing I bought was my daughter's book bag, personalised. I went with eBay because it was a style that I liked, but also it was actually the cheapest. Which cheapest isn't always best, but it's kind of what drove me there, because I find that with personalised things, it's usually Etsy that people go for, but Etsy was quite a bigger price point, so that's what led me to eBay.
For me, the last thing I bought was a mini driver for my golf collection. A lot of my friends, as I said before, buy their golf clubs on eBay. They said, don't get a full price golf club, just go for getting a second-hand one, and the eBay for me is the best in terms of the UI, the way you can view products, the way you can look at the price and look at the kind of pictures as well. For me, it's a staple in the market in terms of a product and UI. So yeah, that's why I bought it on there.
The last thing I brought was some personalised stickers. It's my daughter's birthday coming up, and it's actually from a seller I've used probably 8 or 9 times over the last few years. Always go back to them, always been happy with the service. So my first go-to was to go to them to get what I needed.
Yeah, so the last thing I bought was actually the watch I'm wearing. For me, it's price point compared to other kind of platforms, and kind of the sellers, photos used and the quality of the listing is why I went with eBay compared to the other potential platforms could have used.
Thank you. So like some things I'm hearing, around price, UI, a bit about loyalty there. So just on this theme of like, why you make the decisions that you make, it'd be good to just dive into a bit more like what really drives you to buy and how you make that choice. So when you pick a platform, what matters the most? We've had a few things here, but in general, what do you think is really important as you're making decisions between different retailers and different places to buy? Should we start with Ruben?
Yeah, I think for me, first of all, it's the urgency on when I actually need the product. So, for example, if it's something I needed tomorrow or within the next week, perhaps, I'm going to look for the platform that I know I'm getting the fastest delivery service with the most competitive price. I think the urgency for me dictates better for me rather than the price point. And then I would then look for the price and the seller, the reviews, and the experience that I've had, that type of thing.
Great. Megan?
Seller reviews is definitely a big one for me. Just making sure that I'm going to have a positive experience, and then of course price point as well. I think that price point is a big thing with so many competitors in the market. You want to make sure that you're getting the best price for the product you're buying.
Yeah.
That's usually what ends up drawing me to eBay, because I'm looking at different competitors and eBay is the cheapest. And then obviously on top of postage and things like that, I think sometimes you can be misled by some platforms that you don't see them postage prices, whereas on eBay it's quite prominent and obvious what it's going to cost you.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I think a lot of the time it's the quality of the listing. If I'm buying clothing, what if there's a little stain on there and it hasn't been disclosed on the listing? That needs to be on there. And the same with kind of tech. If the phone battery isn't on there, what it is, while another listing might have it, it's going to, take me to go ahead and buy from the specific listing that has that. So, yeah, for me, it's really the quality of the listing on there.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely the UI. Like, I'm a massive app-centric person, so having a great app on your fingertips is so important. And I feel eBay, their UI has never really changed from like 10 years ago. Like, it's very simple. Like, you go onto a listing, it has buy now, save, and save to your wish list, for example. That structure's always stayed the same. So I think for me, that kind of continuity is important.
Brilliant, thank you. So I'm hearing a lot about confidence. You need to feel confident in the journey, in when it's going to arrive, in the price point and the details. So I'd love to hear a little bit about when you shop on eBay. What gives you confidence? Are there signals that help you? You find you like something. Like, what's going to make you really go and buy it? So, yeah.
I think for me, it's reviews and feedback. And again, I buy a lot of trainers, so the authentic guarantee is a massive one for me. Like, when that first came out, I was like, yeah, this is great. And it's such a streamlined process as well. It's really simple. You kept up to date. It doesn't affect the delivery time. So I'm like, yeah, I know. I've seen a pair of trainers that I want. I know I can get them authenticated, so I know that they're real. And I'm going to get them really quick. So I'm like, it's an all-round winner for me.
I'd probably say the same, because there's a lot of fakes out there for your clothing, and obviously tech. There's now a lot of fakes there as well. So it's really that authenticity and also the kind of reliability of the seller that gives you the confidence to go ahead and buy.
Yeah.
I think focusing mainly on tech for me, the fact that there's big brands on there. So, for example, I buy my refurbed phones from Music Magpie, but always via eBay. I'd never go to them direct for discount codes that are on eBay. So knowing that big brands will, sell on that platform, and then also with other sellers on there, you can see the reviews, you can see the quality of their listing. That is a big thing for me. Knowing how many items they've sold as well, I think is a big one. Knowing that they're a reputable seller and that you're not going to have a bad experience.
Yeah, for me, it's the personalization. So when you go on the eBay app, if you bought something previously, they might show you a list of other products from the same person or the same seller, which you might buy. So I think having that personal touch on the UI is key for me.
Okay. Yeah. And who here? I think I heard authentication guarantee. Have you all used it, or just yeah?
Yeah.
Have you used it as well?
I've not. No.
Okay. And what items have you bought through authentication?
I bought trainers. Yeah, Nike trainers.
Yeah, same as me. Footwear.
Yeah. Trainers.
Footwear.
Okay. nice. Okay. I think you mentioned there a bit around loyalty to a seller. So what might make you come back to the same seller again?
I think the overall service for me, like the lady who I bought the stickers off for my daughter's birthday, I'd ordered off her previously a couple of years ago, and she actually made a mistake with my order. But her response and how she dealt with the situation gave me a lot of trust in her and made me think, you know what, you made a mistake, but I'm going to come back to you. She was really responsive. She owned up to what she did. She rectified the problem, and then she got out my item quite fast, and I was really happy with that. And again, other buyers that I'll go back to again, it's just because of the overall experience. They always send it out when they need to. They always stick to the delivery times. They're always responsive in their messages. It just feels like I'm getting more of a personalised touch, and you're not just looking at me as another number, so to speak.
I echo that really. I had an experience recently where someone again had made a mistake, but they rectified it so quickly that I wasn't fussed that they'd made the mistake. It was more that they'd rectified it and that they'd just come clean, basically, and I'd go back to them if I ever needed to buy that same product again.
Yeah, Kieran?
Yeah, I agree. It's that kind of after sale kind of personalization. Like when they give you the product, do they put in like a little leaflet which takes you to their Instagram account? Like that kind of personalization for me makes you closer to the brand and makes you kind of want to go on Instagram and search for them and then buy off them directly. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think kind of the follow-up straight away and shipping fast and kind of informing you as a buyer that you kind of shipped it and that personalised touch is good. And I think that's good across kind of all them kind of apps, you know, and competitor apps is that personalised touch really makes you feel valued and kind of happy with the experience.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So switching to think a little bit about maybe how your behaviour or the way you shop has maybe changed in the last year or so, and kind of if you think there are technology trends and things that are shaping the way that you search and the way that you find items. So does anyone here feel like the way they're shopping has changed? Are you kind of more likely to use AI recommendations, AI search, personalization, things like that? Love to hear a little bit about, you know, how things have changed for you over the last year. So maybe you can kick us off, Kieran.
Yeah, I think for me as a consumer now, I just want the best product fast.
Yeah.
And now I go to ChatGPT all the time now and just ask them, what is the best product for me in this market? And so instead of, I would normally probably go on a comparison site and look at two different products and weigh it up. But now I go to ChatGPT, gives me the answer, and then I would probably go onto eBay or maybe Vinted and compare the prices on there. So I think, yeah, the way I'm now searching is more direct and more to the product I actually just want quickly. Yeah.
Connor?
Yeah, more recently, and I've only just found out about it actually. Google, is it like Google image reverse search? So like if I'm out and about and there's a piece of clothing I think potentially I could get for a cheaper price elsewhere, I'll just use the kind of Google option for I don't know if it's AI integrated or whatever, but yeah, that's kind of my go-to at the moment for what I do.
I think for me, I feel like I'm being shopped for sometimes. Like if I go on TikTok, for example, and I've seen an item that I like, it's then giving me the option of other items they feel I would like as well. And I do quite like that because it almost makes me think, oh, I didn't know I wanted to buy that, but now I feel like I do want to buy that because it's come up on my feed.
Yeah, everything's a lot more instant now with the way text comes, especially with AI. But I would say I'm quite old school with buying. I have integrated AI into my life, but when it comes to buying, I do just like to manually search and see all of the options because I find that AI, especially when you are using the free versions like ChatGPT, you don't always get every option. I like to search. I was recently looking for something and ChatGPT actually gave me this product recommendation. I couldn't find it anywhere apart from eBay, and I ended up buying it off there. But if I hadn't then gone and done my own research, I never would have found that product. So I think, yeah, for me, I am quite old school in the sense that I like to just manually search.
So different usages, I suppose, or attitudes as well to AI, which I think we all see. I'm interested in, does anyone here use live or live shopping on any platform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? So let's go down the line. So Connor, what have you used for live shopping?
TikTok Shop, the kind of live streams, and that's just kind of not me going out searching for something. It kind of appears in front of me, and I've kind of been pulled into buying something
Yeah.
at times that's probably not that useful for me. But yeah, that's TikTok Live. Yeah, that's kind of all I've used.
Okay. Remini?
Yeah, for me, TikTok Live as well. I was trying to get my daughter a Labubu for ages, and that I find a page that was like, come on live at this time, and they had them for sale, and it was like excellent because it was like, it's a real one, like it's live, I can get it straight away. So yeah, it worked really well for me.
Not really for me. I just find the content at that time, if you go on TikTok Live or eBay Live, what is relevant for you, like you just might be serving the wrong product. So yeah, I stay away.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I do agree in a sense that it's making it easier to buy things that you don't actually need, but I have used it, TikTok Shop. It's quite entertaining as well. It's more of a community. You feel like you can get to know the person selling it, and it just builds that trust factor instead of just being, through a screen, you click buy, you don't even speak to them. You see their face, you see what they're buying, you see their passion for their product, and then you can see other people's questions, and it makes you want to buy it. So I've used TikTok, and I've also used Whatnot, which is a new platform that's come around in the UK. And I guess it's just a different stance on buying things on these sorts of platforms. So it's just, I guess, different, and that's what draws people to it.
Okay, so heard a bit about engagement there and a relationship with the seller. Is there anything else that you feel is an advantage of live shopping?
I think answering questions and getting a response there and then, or sometimes if you don't necessarily have thought of a question, somebody else has asked it, that it's been answered, and you thought, that's really useful to me. I didn't think of that, but that's really helpful. Or even like sizings and things like that to see, or like I'm quite tall, so I'm always, how tall is that person wearing that clothes? Is it going to fit me? Is it going to be too short on the leg? So I can see that visually and ask them, and it's a lot more responsive instead of waiting around.
Connor, is there anything from your side?
No, not really. I just think, I guess, if you are already on this live, you're one step on the journey to buying the product, aren't you? So you're kind of already on the way to be pulled into buying. So yeah, that's how I've purchased before on there.
Amazing, thank you. So thank you all for your openness. I think now we'll be moving to some questions from our sellers in the audience. Just going to grab them from my colleague here. Thank you, Emma. Amazing. All right. So thank you for submitting your questions. We do want to just hear, direct from sellers on what they want to hear from you. So I will start with the first one. For new accounts, which might not have a lot of reviews, what else would encourage you to buy and to build trust?
I think the kind of quality of the pictures, especially, it's very product dependent, but especially kind of clothing in my field, or your tech, it's got to really have every single specialized part and the measurements and really show a full picture of the product. And without that, I don't think it kind of will gain that trust, because you've kind of gained the trust in a different way by the quality other than the reviews and ways like that.
Yeah. I think for me, it's something that the platform could actually help with. So giving the buyer a guarantee that if anything was to go wrong with this new account, that there's some sort of support there, because I know especially with Vinted that you're kind of on your own, and a lot of customers say that Vinted don't really help them out when something goes wrong. So, if platforms like eBay had something for customers, maybe that would help. Oh, my voice is going.
Yeah, great. Kieran.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think, it's always hard for new sellers to come onto eBay, but I think, just maybe having like a link to like an external website, or like that kind of like validity in their kind of profile. Like if I saw a new seller on eBay, I'd probably search them on like Google just to see if they have an Instagram account or something. So maybe making sure they have some online presence elsewhere. But yeah, even like the username, like I feel like some usernames are quite kind of like spammy. So having like a clear shop name would be quite useful.
Yeah.
I think for me, transparency, especially around like used clothes within items and stuff like that. If there is a bit of a scuff, or be very transparent about that. I'm obviously going onto that platform buying a second-hand product, but I don't want to be misled that it's of better quality than it actually is. And also be clear on like returns, your returns policy, or in the description, if there's any issues, be very open at the fact that you welcome me to message you if there's a problem, so I don't feel sort of taken aback or worried to reach out, and then I'm reluctant to then buy from you again.
Really helpful. And do you think about the type of seller as well, as you're making a decision? So, for example, if it's a private seller, a big business, a small seller, can you share any thoughts about how you think about the seller in your purchase?
I do prefer to go for a private or a smaller seller, just because I prefer to shop small and support smaller businesses. So for me, I always will look for an independent seller. For me, it's always, even the less sales, but the better reviews. So you don't have to have had 1,000 sales and 100% on your reviews. It's just that the overall reviews that you've got are transparent, they're good. It shows that you're delivering a good product, you're responsive, your returns policy, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I primarily go for kind of the smaller listings. So I just look for the reviews that if there is some on there, I'd look for them and just make it's usually a fast delivery and things like that really pulls me in, and just again the quality of the listing and the quality of everything on there, just make sure that they're thorough with it, and really trying to push their item out there in a kind of professional way.
Right, thank you. And so building on that point as well, I've heard it a couple of times mentioned. How do you feel about the price, and is a cheapest always the best, and how do you make that decision between price and other elements?
I don't think cheapest is always best. I think it's sort of a whole approach of the seller, the experience that you have. I think as long as you've got a fair price point, but I don't think I wouldn't necessarily go for the cheapest option on there, just because it's cheap. I think I would look the reviews, the quality of the pictures, the description, the delivery time, the transparency of the seller. Those for me are a lot more important than just the price point.
I think for me, price is very important, and I think the cheapest is quite important for me, because I kind of use eBay as like maybe another comparison kind of retailer, like where I'm looking at products and looking at different kind of sites. Where's the cheapest one? And if it's like a product that's been out on the market for ages, and I know I can trust it, I'll probably just go for the cheapest one. Yeah.
I'd say that it depends highly on what you're actually buying.
Yeah.
So, for example, if it's tech, cheapest isn't always the best, because you might think, well, why is it the cheapest? But if it's something like personalised stickers, because that's something that I buy for my kids as well, if all of the products look the same quality, and typically, I guess you don't really care, for example, how good they are just stickers, then you probably would go for the cheapest. So I think it is highly dependent, especially for buyers who want to take this feedback on. It would probably be, you'd need to look more into your niche and what, is the deciding factor within that niche, and if cheapest is best for that niche.
So, differences in the way that we, depending on the item that we're looking for, and, your needs at that time. I'm just wondering, how do you find items on eBay? Do you, search, browse? Like, what's your experience of the eBay journey, like on-site journey? Kieran, can kick off with you.
Yeah, I think for me it's just kind of searching in obviously the search engine, but also that personalized kind of ads I get like at the bottom of my page from my previous purchases, and that kind of leads me down like a rabbit hole of finding new products. So I think that is what I do. I like looking at eBay shops as well, like seeing what else they have, other products in their shop. But also, Google search. I mean, in the shopping section, I know sometimes there is some eBay listings, I think, in there. So I think Google's a good tool as well. But also, like, I get recommended and referred to eBay from my friends who buy other products on eBay. So I think recommendations is a big thing as well.
Okay.
So if you have a strong network who like to recommend your product, then that's important as well.
I utilize a lot of the kind of filters on there, and the pricing and kind of what I'm actually going for. If it's clothing, for example, size medium or whatever it is, and that's kind of the only tool I would use. And then my purchases are usually the one-off cheap steals I'd kind of look for. So I'd categorize them down and find it that way using the filters.
I think eBay usually finds me rather than I find it. So I usually search something on Google, and if eBay's within the search, I'll then click on and individually end up on eBay, and then that's when I'd kind of search from there. Or if it's something that I know I'm going to buy from eBay, there's certain things that will go back to eBay to buy.
Yeah.
That's when I'd go on eBay and then search. But typically I'm like Google, and then I end up going onto eBay from there.
Yeah, for me, I'm going on Google for going on eBay for a specific product. So I'm going on the search engine and typing in exactly what I want. So it's usually a trainer, colorway that I know what I want, and then I'm looking down to see, the seller, delivery time, authentication, that type of thing. So very specific what I'm searching for.
And how do you feel about product descriptions? Would you prefer a description written by a seller directly or an AI description? Have you got any feelings on the actual information?
For me, I actually prefer knowing that it's written by a human,
Yeah.
like that human touch, because I know that it's coming from them and what they actually think about the product, rather than they've put it into AI and then AI has written it. Even if AI does write it for you, but
Yeah.
you just add that touch to it. I think that's always the important point with AI, that you do add that human element to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think don't overcomplicate it. Sometimes I've gone on some descriptions and they're adding so many extra words that keep it high level, keep it to the point, size, condition, that type of thing, colorway, any issues. But I don't want a whole paragraph of it's going to take me, because I'll lose interest. I just want straight to the point and, all the information I need. I don't want to be reading for too long.
Yeah, I think for me it's the formatting. Like, I don't, as you said, I don't like big paragraphs, but is it formatted nice? Like, does it have emojis and stuff like that? Like, I think that is important. Grabs my eye, for sure.
Yeah, I guess anybody can use AI at the end of the day. It's kind of can be a copy and paste, or you can kind of add your, authenticity of yourself and add your touch to it. And I feel if a seller's writing its own description, maybe with the help of AI to make it better, that's better than just kind of copying and pasting, because you just think if they're doing that on the listing at the very start of the process, what's my product going to be like? They're maybe going to be a bit lazy about that and things. And AI is very easy to see, when it's just fully AI generated at the end of the day.
But also, as a buyer, I don't think you really care if it's made by AI, because for me, when you're buying a product, like, you just read the description and like, you're not really thinking like, oh, like, who's written it? Like, that's my opinion. But I just think if it's AI or not, like, it just tells you about the product that you need to buy. And because when you're buying on eBay, it's such kind of an impulse thing, or you have high intent. So I don't really care, to be honest.
Completely. Okay, so to close, I have one final question. If you can give one piece of advice to sellers here today about what really matters to buyers, what would it be? And then we'll run down the line. So, Megan.
I think just the quality of your listing, make sure it's got everything that somebody needs. For me, if I can't find a bit of information, that could make me go elsewhere rather than message them. So just always double check things, make sure you've got everything that somebody will need. Even run it past, your business partner, friends, family. Think, what would you need from this? Is there anything missing? Because that could be the difference between someone buying from you and somebody not.
Yeah, I kind of maybe agree on that. Maybe it's all about the listing for me. I think, just the pictures, the description, and also the listing title. Like, does it grab your attention? So those are important for me.
Yeah, just to piggyback onto that as well, the responsiveness as well. If someone's messaging, I don't want to be waiting days and days for a response. And also, for me, clothing is returns policy. Be very transparent about that, so we sort of know what I'm getting myself into if there is an issue. And again, listing, pictures, quality of the description.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. But I guess kind of look at it, if you were a buyer yourself, if you were going out there and purchasing something, how would you want to be treated? And you want the full life cycle of the kind of purchase, and you want to know what's going on with your shipping, and you want the listing to be great. And as a buyer, that's all you want. You want to know you're getting your products from a good seller, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you all to our buyers for sharing your perspectives. Thanks for being so open, and thanks to all your the sellers for listening so carefully and sending in these really helpful questions. I think you know, we heard a lot from the panel, different attitudes to buying, different motivations to buying. But at the end of the day, a lot of it boils down to sort of similar things with the need to, you know, have convenience, ease, trust in the platform, and find value, good value for money. So thank you again, and thank you to the audience.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.